Hey learners, welcome back to Soundarya Study Zone. In today's video, let's see the new topic in regular expression, that is conversion from regular expression to epsilon NFA. That is, we can say conversion from regular expression to finite automata. Right, so here we are using Thompson's method to convert the regular expression to epsilon NFA. So the statement goes like this. Let R be regular expression, then there exists a finite automaton M equals to, I hope you remember this, where Q is a set of all states. Here this is alphabet, delta is a transition, Q naught is a starting state and F is a final state, such that L of M equals to L of R. If R is a regular expression, then the language derived from the R will be equals to language derived from the M, okay. So that is, we can say it as, for every regular expression R, there exists a finite automata that accepts language described by R. Every finite automata accepts a language that is described by regular expression, which means we have regular expression are equivalent to finite automata. Clear? Each and every regular expression we can convert it into its equivalent finite automata. Okay, here the finite automata we choose is epsilon NFA. Okay, so next see what are the basic things we should know, or what are the basic things that is there in regular expression. Okay, so regular expression is built using basic expressions. The expressions are null symbol and then epsilon and a. What does null symbol says? Null symbol means empty language, right? If R equals to null symbol, which means if R is an null regular expression, then L of R equals to epsilon, which means our language will be empty language. So transition will be like, there will be a starting state and there will be a final state, but there is no transition from starting state to final state, which means there is no string. So there is no accepting state. This automata accepts no strings. Okay. So there will be no transition between Q0 and Q1. And then we have epsilon. If R equals to epsilon. So L of R equals to epsilon, which means if it is an empty string, then there will be a starting state and final state. So there will be a transition from starting state to final state only if this string is an empty string. Okay. Transition will be from one state to another state only if there is an empty string. Accepts only empty string. Next we have R equals to A, where A belongs to alphabet. Okay, which means A can be any input symbol. A can be, which means here we represent it with the help of A. It can be A, B, C, 0, 1, etc. Okay. So if R equals to A, then there will be a transition from Q0 to Q1 on consuming A. So it will accept single input. If there is null symbol, then there will be no transition. If there is epsilon, it will accept only empty string and it will transit from one state to another state. If there is a single input, it will move from one state to another state. These are all the three basic expressions that are used. Null symbol, epsilon and A. Clear? Let's move to the next part. Okay, this is the continuation part of the theorem. Okay, so at first we wrote the statement and then we wrote about the basic expressions in regular expression, right? So next part is how do we do the schematic representation of regular expression to accept language L of R. Okay, so let's take this as one regular expression. Okay, so if this is one regular expression, if R is a regular expression, then there will be a starting state and machine and final state. Okay, Q, M, F. We can write it like this. For each and every regular expression, there will be a starting state, and if we get A as input symbol, it will move to final state. So Q is a start state, F is a final state for machine, M. Okay. So this is one thing. This is how we represent regular expression. So from definition of regular expression, if we have R and S as regular expression, if we have R as one regular expression and S as one regular expression, then R plus S, that is R union S, R dot S, which means R concatenate with S, and R closure, or we can say clean closure of R are regular expression. If R and S is regular expression, union, concatenation and closure will be there, which uses plus, dot and star. Okay. So we have next important thing is union, concatenation and closure. So the first case is union, right? First case is union. That is R plus S. Okay, so we can take it like this. R equals to A plus B. Okay, how to represent A? A is represented like this. There will be one starting state and there will be a input symbol A, and on A it will be moving to final state. And then remember this one, A plus B means A or B. We can write it like this also, A or B, right? So here I am writing it for B, right? Q1 on B, it will be moving to next state. Okay, so now if I have A or B, I have to think, right, whether I should move. Let's take it like this. You are in some center point. Okay, you have the option to move in this direction or this direction, right? You have to think in some point. That point is a starting point. Clear? Initial point. What you will do here? So if you get A, which means if you want to go to your grandfather's house, you will move here, right? Let's take A as grandfather house. If you want to go to grandfather's house, you will take this direction, this direction. If you want to go to your aunt's house, you have to take this direction. So you have to think here, or this is a point where two roads meet. So you have to think here. So if I want to go to grandfather's house, I will move here, which means on epsilon transition I am moving here. Okay, and then if I want to go to aunt's place, I will be selecting this path. Okay, this is the initial path. So either A or B. And then we have common final state. Okay, and then we have common final state. Okay, so 2 epsilon transition equal 4 epsilon transition. Either we have to select this one or we have to select this path. Okay, this is for R union S. So we got it like this for final state. So now is there a need for these two final state? No, right? We have common final state. So we don't need these two final states. Okay, so here in Epsilon NFA, here we are writing it for Epsilon NFA, right? R plus S is converted into Epsilon NFA, correct? So here there is one common initial state and one common final state. Okay, so here I will select which path to move and I will be there in this final state on the epsilon. Okay, because I need common final and initial state. Now let's look into the next case, that is concatenation. Here in the second case we have R dot S, right, which means R is concatenating with S, which means if I take R equals to A and S equals to B, regular expression will be like A dot B. At first I will be having A and then A is followed by B. Okay, so there will be a starting state Q0 on A, it will be moving to Q1 and then on epsilon it will be moving to next state Q2 and Q2 on B it will be moving to final state. Here I didn't take extra start state like union. Why? Because here it is must and should starting should be A only, right? So I can directly move to next state on consuming A. Here we have a confusion whether to take this or this direction. So here Q0 on A it will be moving to Q1, Q1 on epsilon it will be moving to Q2, Q2 on B it will be moving to Q3. Okay, now let us see the third case, that is closure, or we can say clean closure. Okay, case 3 is R star, which means we can say clean star also, right? What is clean star? Clean star means 0 or more occurrence, right? So R star equals to 0 or more occurrence means at first we should have epsilon and then R, so on, right? 0 or more occurrence of a string, which means I can have epsilon transition, or I can have, if there is epsilon transition, then also it will get accepted. If there is R, then also it will get accepted. If it is RR, then also it will get accepted, right? So at first I will write it for R, okay, like this. So there will be one state and another state. So no need to write final state because there will be a common final state, right? There will be two state which is going to accept. Let's take it as R. I will name it because it will be easier for you later. If you didn't name it like Q0, Q1 in this theorem, then that's not an issue, okay? You can write on the circles also. So is it good? Yes, Q0, Q1 to accept regular expression R. This is in this form, right? Now here if there is R, this is okay, but I have an options like epsilon R. So I need one common initial state, right? I need one common initial state, which means if I get epsilon R, I can move like this, and then I will have final state here. Okay. So if I get epsilon, whether it should get accepted or not, this is the common final state, okay? If I get epsilon, whether it is going to accepted or not, it is going to get accepted, right? So if I get epsilon, it should get accepted. If I get R, it will be moving here. So I will write epsilon here also, and I will write one more thing, that is epsilon here also. Why? If I get epsilon, I will be moving to final state. Done. If I get R, it will be like Qi on epsilon, it will be moving to Q0. Q0 on R, it is moving to Q1. Q1 on epsilon, it is moving to QF. Done. If I have R, Qi on epsilon moving to Q0. Q0 on R. One R is done, it will be moving to Q1. I got another one R, so I am moving back to Q0 on epsilon, and if I get R, I will be moving to Q1, and Q1 on epsilon it is moving to QF. If I get any number of R, it will be looping in Q0 and Q1, and then it will move to final state. Clear? This is for R. Remember this one. And then since I have RR and epsilon transition, I took common initial state and then common final state. This is how we solved 3 cases of regular expression. Okay, now I will explain you the precedence of operators in this video only. That is a small topic. So what are the precedents, like when to operate first, whether if I get parenthesis, concatenation, union or closure. Okay, so let's see that. So next topic is precedence of operators. So if you have a regular expression, which one you have to simplify first, or which one we have to schematically represent first? So first you have to simplify parenthesis, okay, and then closure, and then concatenation, and then union. I will tell you this with one example. If you have 0 plus 1 star 0 1, okay, so what you have to do, you have to solve what is inside parenthesis first. What is inside parenthesis? That is 0 plus 1. You have to represent it schematically, and then closure, and then you have to represent 0 plus 1 whole star, and then concatenation. You can write it like this also, 0 dot 1, right? This, and then you can solve 0 plus 1 star into or concatenated with 0 dot 1. Clear? So this is how we solve the problems that are bigger. There will be a precedence of the operators, parenthesis, parenthesis, closure, concatenation and union. Clear? So this is how we solved the Thompson's method and precedence of operator. I hope this video helped you. If this video helped you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends who are learning theory of computation. Thank you.